let's learn how to draw a seascape with an underwater view. So I'm going to start by drawing my horizon line where the land meets the sky, or the sea meets the sky. So I'm going to go about 1/3 of the way down on my page, and I'm going to go straight across very lightly. And then I'm going to make my underwater line about 1/3 of the way up, and I'm going to go straight across very lightly also. Okay, so now what I would like to do is I'm going to go in and build up off of this horizon line and make the land come up just a bit here. Kind of like a little dune coming up into the more flatlands. Let's stick a little house back in here. Let's see, got a roof line, our house, little windows, chimney. Let's see, let's add some more building here. And they are going to have a little rain garden right over here. Have some plants, and these rain gardens that we can put in close to our houses will help slow down the water and the runoff down into our body of water, our creeks and rivers, down into our bays and oceans. So little things you can do at home. You could build yourself a little rain garden, traps water before it runs off down the watershed. So we're just doing quick little light marks. I'm just gonna throw in these as more hill lines or levels of the land. I'm gonna put in some trees, just quick branching trees, little puffs for leaves. Put in a tree on this side. Let's see, maybe I'll make this one like a cedar tree. Over here, put another tree. All right, and so things that are up past the horizon line are going to be much smaller because they're way off in the distance. As we work closer, things are going to get bigger. So let's go down here and throw in some dune grass. And dune grass is really great at helping protect our dune systems and the mainland, because they have these great big roots that travel far down into the dune, and it helps trap and keep the sand in there. All right, so just throw a couple more in here very loosely. And then I'm gonna come, let's see. Let's make this like a streamway coming out towards us. So I'm gonna start way over here, like the water would be running down here. And then come along this way. This is like a little creek that's opening up. And then we'll get down here, and this is gonna be our water, underwater. All right, so narrow, close together, in the distance. The further away you are, the smaller things appear. So I'm gonna come down, and then it's gonna start getting bigger. I'm gonna have some land on this side over here. And all right. So this is our water movement, and this is gonna be underwater. So I'm gonna add another little line parallel to this water line. And this is when we go below the surface. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the plants that I want up close to me, the bigger plants. Back here is going to be some smaller stuff, but I want to block these in first. Let's see. gonna do some cordgrass or Spartina alterniflora, which grows along the edge of the marshlands and is really great at helping trap debris and runoff from getting into the bays. So it's a super important plant, and their root system also helps trap sediment and prevent erosion and protects the beach. All right, and get these really great little seed heads in the fall. So we're just gonna put some little flowers on them for now. So I'm just going through and I'm just gonna build up a bunch of these Spartina alterniflora. They're kind of tall and they branch off these little leaves here. And they, all right, so these are the ones that are the closest to me now. So now I'm just going to go back in here and just quickly sketch in, just by marks, little angles, straight line, a little squiggly for the flower head. And we're just going to go along here and fill in lots of this Spartina. Along the marsh, usually you'll find lots of beds of ribbed mussels, and ribbed mussels are really great filter feeders. So they are getting right from what's coming down, the sediment that's coming down the land into the marshland, and then it goes through the Spartina and then comes down into these ribbed mussels. So they're right up front there as far as filter feeders. So I'm just going along and I'm just making little ovals and adding some ribs in there. Everything's just quick gestury lines just to get everything down where you want it, and then you can go, down the road and spend 4 or 5 hours really shading and adding super details and whatnot. All right, so I got some of my mussels thrown in there now. I'm gonna throw some Spartina back here on the other side, bigger ones up close. Mussels along here. A lot of times you'll see these when it's low tide, they'll just be completely exposed. Alright, so this is our underwater line here. And then under here, under the water, let's see what kind of water filtration things we've got going on under here. I'm going to put a little bottom line down here. Okay, and clams are bivalves that are filter feeders. So I'm going to draw in my clam here, underwater, under the ground I should say, in the mud. And then we also have eelgrass, which is really a great remover of carbon and nitrogen from our water, from our bays. Then a lot of times around eelgrass beds, you're gonna find scallops. So a scallop, I just kind of make a V and then little curves up top, and little triangles down here, and then throw in some lines. Just a quick. And then another awesome filter feeder are oysters. In oysters, we'll find some rock or other shells, old shells, and they're gonna attach to them and they'll cement down and then they just start growing. And oysters, I just make a small little oval at first and then I go around and back, elongating and making some crooked lines towards the top because they're never really perfectly round or oval. All right, and now you could start going in and shading and adding other things. You could add a little sun over here if you want. And some clouds. I love to make clouds, just little squirrely little lines. And then erase. And the cloud is over the sun. And then as we go along and shade in and highlight, we can erase and make things pop out and stand out more. So I'm just going to go back in and I'm going to start So I'm working from my top down to the bottom when I'm doing my shading, so I don't wind up rubbing everything that I've really filled in and drawn in with my hand. As we go along, your hands are going to get dirty anyway. This is just going to help prevent you from smearing all of your artwork. Just going to very lightly go behind and just kind of fill in just with these lots of little wispy brush pencil lines to give depth to all this marsh grass, to this Spartina. All right, so now up close here, I want to really make those few Spartina stand out. So just sharpening up my pencil real quick. I'm going to go through the darker pencil line straight, and then I'm going to do these little puffs for the flowers, and then they got these little blades for leaves that come up. And this one is coming behind these two in the front, so making sure to not overlap the one in the front. So you see how I made this? It came right up over the house. It's giving it that sense of depth. This is way closer and the house is way further behind. If you have any lines that need to be erased that are crossing over, just go ahead and erase them. So I just keep continuing building these up until I have as many as I would like. So we got roots in here. All right, and then here's some more of the mussels. Back over them again. All right, and And now, just to get this feeling like water's moving through, I'm just gonna, the edge of my pencil, come through, kind of follow the shoreline that I made. All right, and now underwater. So, kind of hard to tell that this is underwater. Let's see what we can do to make it seem a little bit more underwater. So let's give it some movement. I'm just going to very gently with my pencil on the side kind of make these little lines of movement through here. The water current coming through. Using my eraser just to add a little contrast in there. Clean up this water edge crossover point. Okay, now I'm going to go back in. I want to keep some of these streaks that I made coming through the, excuse me, the eelgrass, but I also want some of the eelgrass on top of it, kind of like it's flowing through the current. So I'm just going to pick a few of them and I'm going to make them a little bit more bold and come right up on top of my erase line. You can also add in as you go along. This is your drawing. You can add in things, you can take things out. Just going back in and adding some fine lines just to make things pop a little more. And there you have it. Quick seascape. Lots of water movement. Got the rain coming from our clouds, coming down, hitting on the roof, going down their gutters into their little rain garden, helping prevent all that water just from rushing down into the streams and bays. Coming along, and then there's all of these dune grasses helping prevent the water running off, and then we've got along the marshlands this beautiful Spartina alterniflora, so gorgeous when it flowers in the early fall. And then we have these great ribbed mussels, awesome filter feeders, eelgrass, scallops, oysters, clams, all great filter feeders, filtering our water and helping protect our precious resource.